What's going on, everybody? I am Baltmatrix, and today we are taking a look at Metal Cardbot BLASTRAIN. I picked this set up over at Amazon. I bought it like a month ago, and it took weeks to get here. Now, BLASTRAIN's body, or train body, is made of 3 different cars. We've got the engine in the front, and then these 2 passenger cars. And then the set also comes with the card itself, which is attached to his weapons, which are these giant freaking claws. More on those a little bit later. The only complaint I have with this set as a whole is the connector for the cars. This little pin and hole connector, it sucks. It does not hold together well at all. It does not do a very good job of connecting 2 train cars together. The primary train itself is pretty neat. I do like this thing quite a bit. It looks great and holds together pretty darn well. Transformation into robot mode is very easy, but I cannot argue with the way this thing looks. The black, the silver, the red, the gold, all work incredibly well, with the green being there up at the front of the vehicle mode for the very tip of the train, and the eyes for the little carbotedness of it. Yeah, each one of these things is they're sentient beings. They're like Transformers, except they all have eyes. I kind of dig that. A better look at the face. I mean, here's the mouth right here, the eyes and the nose. No light piping, unfortunately, but it still looks really cool. Now, let's go ahead and get into the transformation. First of which, we have to come to the back and flip up this panel. And you do that on both sides, because that is connected to the figure's main weapon in first robot mode. And then the back of the train normally comes apart very easily on my copy, so just be aware of that. Next, come to the back of the train mode and take the toes, push them down, and then we can bring the entirety of the bottom of the train mode, or back of the train mode, down, and then flip up the heels like that. That will then give us the ability to come up front, unpeg the front of the train, swing it down a little bit, and then flip it around and collapse it down like that. There's a little bit right here that it does get stuck on, but just push it past it and then collapse it down like so. And then take the entire train and do that. Once the legs are slugged down, take the entire torso and turn it around 180 degrees. Drop the cow catcher down like that, and then come to the back top section and split this apart and swing it all the way back to form the shoulders. On to form the arms, grab these red sections and fold them up. Form the shoulder pads, drop the arms down, and then slide these little forearm sections back to reveal the fists. Come to the very top of the train, push this section down to reveal the head, pull the head up, turn around 180 degrees, and we have done the robot mode. The base robot mode for BLASTRAIN is really nice. All the colors that were available in the train mode really come out and pop, and you have this beautiful chest plate going on that looks like a face in and of itself, and then the head sculpt is a conductor. I get Tokuger vibes from this thing, I swear. And that's what he is in the show. He behaves like a train conductor, which perfectly fine with. Never seen the show other than clips on YouTube. Love the robot mode. It works so well. He's got a little bit of a backpack kibble from the train mode, specifically this part, but that comes into play, or this piece right here comes into play in his evolved or super mode, we'll say. Yes, he does have another mode. I love this thing. I absolutely love the look of this thing. And man, does it have some ratchety joints. Starting with the head, it looks up, it looks down, and it swivels all around. There is a ratchet in the shoulder for forward and back, or for around, and then in and out. There is a swivel for side to side. Then there are elbows that are not ratcheted. It's a double elbow. Fists do articulate, but they constantly hit up against the guard here. But, I mean, they can only move so far. It's not a big deal. There is a torso articulation, and it is ratcheted. Legs can kick forward, and then you've got to move the cow catcher out of the way, but they can kick back, and they can kick out. There is a thigh swivel, and Listen to that. Ratchets for days. And then, no ratchets in the toes, but there are ratchets in the ankles, which are some reason connected to the shins. I mean, there is some movement here on the toes, though. Now let's talk about the trailer hitch of a weapon. We have it right here. It simply folds out like that. And then you could fold the actual hitch part down into the barrel. And then there is a handle on the bottom that will flip out like that. And then he's got his little pew-pew gun. Even though the figure is super posable, and it doesn't hold poses all that well. This pose alone took a couple of minutes because certain bits on this figure aren't as tight as they could be. The ratchets, while they are really loud, clickety and clackety, especially in the hips, aren't that strong. And then the swivels that are at the thighs and at the feet are not that strong either. So on a slick surface like my review table here, very, very, very hard to get him into poses and to get him to stay in said poses. But you can pull them off. It's just it's just a question of if you can get them balanced well. Did I mention I really like the face sculpt? Because I do. And the head sculpt, oh, it's really good. Anyway, now that we've taken a look at the primary robot mode, let's look at the secondary super mode. We're going to need these train cars for that. Each car splits in half like so. Then each car has a foot component, which transforms by first flipping out the heel and then flipping out the toe. And one of these is very, 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 very difficult to get the toe to come out. Once you have the toe flipped out, and yes, I had to use a metal knife and I have scraped the sides. I just didn't have a choice. Fold the toe out, come to the bottom and slide this gray piece up and push what will be the shin in, and then open up the panel. And on this side, this is where we're actually going to fold up and store the little robot mode's gun. It doesn't peg in at all. It just kind of rests inside, and you close the panel up over top of it, as long as you get everything lined up. And there we have one foot. Now, for the arm. To start off with, come to the back, grab the hitch, fold that out, fold that all the way out like that, flip the hitch in, reach inside and fold out the fist like that. This is the combiner spot. Doesn't matter. You have one on each side, so that's great. So just turn the fist so it's pointing forward. Then take this red piece, slide that back, and then you're supposed to grab the gray piece and pull that forward to make a giant shoulder pylon of cannon destruction. Grabbing the second one, pulling it apart, and when you pull it apart, it does have a tendency to pull this gray piece out. Come to the inside, and we will actually unpeg his hat, which I'll show off the hat here in a second. And this one folds the foot out much easier, and there's actually a little place to grab onto, and that's a lot looser, which is a little bit concerning. Fold that up and put that off to the side. Then grab this, fold up the connector, fold out the arm, open up the panel, flip out the fist, turn it, and then push and pull, and we're done. Now the little hat, which I like a lot. Fold these gold bits down, and you can open it up all the way, and then continue to fold them out, and you have a drone. That's literally what this thing is used for in the show. The panel opens up, and he launches this little drone that flies about. So cute! All right, now for BLASTRAIN. To transform it into its combine mode, first, grab the back of the figure, fold up the cattle catcher pusher thingy, fold down this gray piece, then we'll turn the figure around 180 degrees at the torso. That gray piece earlier will flip up. Next, come to the arms and push the forearm bits forward. Turn the arms around and fold them up into the shoulders. And there is a peg right on either side of the locomotive engine that the wrists will peg into, or the inside of the forearms will peg into, like so. Just gonna get that lined up, and then collapse the shoulders. Take the head, make sure it's pulled up all the way, and turn the head around like that so it's facing forward. Come down to the legs, and then there are these little buttons inside the legs. Push them and slide the thighs into the bottom part of the legs. Take the feet and fold them up, and you want that red piece that's the heel to be pointing downwards. So do it again, push the button in, slide that up, fold the toes up like that, and then these bits will slide into the big gray open places, spots on the boots. Do that on both sides. And now we'll attach the arms. But before that, fold that down. The arms are super easy to slide in place. We've got the connector, and that will just slide onto what was the shoulder pad of the robot mode. Do that on the other side, and then give him the hat. So the hat, there's a little slot or peg in there that will slot into the top of his head. Push it down, push the hat down, and then fold the wings up. And there are little cutouts that will peg onto the sides of the head, and we're done. In its combined mode, it's darn impressive. This is 12.5 inches of trained robot goodness. The excellent color scheme continues through here. We've got the gold, the red, the black, then the silver starts showing up around the middle of the shin, bright white fists like a train conductor's glove, and yeah, overall, it looks absolutely gorgeous. Holds together brilliantly. Posing is a little rough because of those loose ratchets that I mentioned earlier in the base robot mode. You can't get a whole lot of dynamic posing out of this guy because they're just not strong enough. But I don't care. This thing just looks great. I love the way this thing looks. And in the show, giant freaking cannons. That's the way giant robot trains should be. Giant freaking shoulder cannons. Literally. Now in terms of posability, head is same posability. Swivels and looks up, can look down. Shoulders are ratcheted, though they have a tendency to come unpegged. I have noticed when I go to pose this thing, I have to hold the shoulder because they will just unpeg themselves. But that, in and out. And then there is a ratchet at the elbow, swivel there. Fists do not articulate. There is the torso articulation, or torso swivel is present. Legs kick forward. There's a bend at the knee. Ankles do pivot, and then the toe for the transformation. Again, every time I try to pose this thing, it just does not want to stay up. Okay, I got it, but it's going to fall over any second now. Now, I would be remiss if we didn't talk about the card and the figure's claws, aka the blast claws. You unpeg them, fold them out, and then splay them like giant dragon feet. And then they peg in to each forearm, adding a considerable amount of weight to each forearm. So even though the posability was already a little bit on the rough side, now it's really on the rough side. And I think I have them backwards because normally when I set them up, yes I do, I like to put it so that the screws that are on each claw are pointing down. I prefer that look better. Overall, I absolutely love this thing. It is so much fun and works really well with even other vehicles and figures that I've gotten out of the Korean lines. I do have another metal Cardbot here somewhere. It is the tractor trailer from one of the previous lines. I don't know where it is, man. It's somewhere back in this mess. Anyway, BLASTRAIN, totally worth it. Expensive. It was almost, I think it came out to about $170 ship, but I got it off Amazon. I know you could get it cheaper, but man, getting a hold of anything out of the Korean or Chinese markets right now is just prohibitively expensive. I was able to get this ordered before the tariffs went into effect, and even then I think I was getting gouged, so your mileage may vary. It's an excellent figure, totally worth having in your collection. Just be careful on how much you're spending for it. All right, folks, let me know what you think of BLASTRAIN down in the comments. Thank you all for watching. I have been Baltmatrix, and I hope you all have a wonderful day.